And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Valley of the Judged. I am your one and only gaming monk, better known as Mildra. I am counting down the days until winter comes back, and those people who complain about the cold, I will be giving you as much shit as you give me every year. All that complaining about the heat, just keep that energy in a few months. But I am, of course, joined by the one and only Flame Scion.
I am alive. I am still here. I am a survivor of winter.
Mm-hmm. And a survivor of hacking your lungs out for 2 weeks.
Could have been worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can always be worse. But we are back once again because of a combination of multiple delays and technology issues and me being an idiot and double booking.
And me actively trying to not die.
Mm-hmm. But we had planned this a few weeks ago because of the 3-in-1 rule to cover 2 lighter games as part of that. The first of which is My Father's Sword by Nordic Skalds. And the latter one, we may get to, depending on how things go, is Overwar: The Night Comes Down, which is very much channeling Ogre Battle, to the point where, yes, it had to do a Queen reference, because if you're doing a Matsuno tribute, you have to do a Queen reference. That's the rules. And if anyone thinks, wait, why do you have to do a Queen reference with Matsuno's work? Because he did in pretty much everything he did. The first Ogre Battle has the subtitle March of the Black Queen. Tactics Ogre had the subtitle Let Us Cling Together.
Yeah, I remember playing that one on PSP.
Mm-hmm. And I know some might bring up Ogre Battle 64. Matsuno didn't do that. He was already picked up by Square by that point. Ogre Battle 64 is a good game. It's just there was no support whatsoever for RPGs on the N64.
Oh yeah, they all went for Sony.
And you can blame Nintendo for that. Specifically what happened with Final Fantasy VII.
The cartridges! They were cheaper!
Part of me suspects that it wasn't a matter of cheapness, but pettiness.
Oh, that's true too.
Because of how badly they got burned by the CDI debacle, and the fact that technically speaking, Nintendo was the one who jumped off the boat when it came to the Sony partnership. You know, and then a while later, Sony goes out and embarrasses everybody with the $2.99 incident.
A lot of people think that Nintendo felt bad. Imagine Sega, because
that pretty much killed the Saturn in the US.
After they had made the shadow drop of the Saturn,
mm-hmm.
and But how stupid do you have to be to shadow drop your console when you have like you can count the number of games you can play on it with a single hand, and you still have leftover fingers?
Mhm. Well, around that time, they were trying to justify a $3.99 price point, which they were getting a lot of shit from in the media. And
Right.
then at E3, Sony's representative walks up to the podium, says $2.99, refuses
And
to
then leaves.
elaborate, walks off, and probably gets a giant bin to carry his massive balls. And there was also the issue of the Saturn was hard to program for, because unlike
And
the
I,
PlayStation, it wasn't one CPU, one GPU.
yeah, it had like something weird, right? Didn't
It had
the Jaguar had the
it
same?
had 4 CPUs. I don't know if the Jaguar had the same, because whenever I tried to set up a Jaguar, it never fucking worked.
I remember that it had two CPU. One was like the whole 64-bit thing about the Jaguar was because it had two separate chipsets. I
Hmm.
think one was for the sound and one was for the graphics, and they were both 32 bits each.
Yes, and trying to program with two chips at the same time is like spinning plates. But with both of these, I'm with the former of these, my father's sword, I'm going into this semi-blind. And looks and Flame had to BRB for a moment. So let me check on the chat a little bit. 2 streams in one night. Awesome. Yes, I am a machine. My record is 4 streams in 12 hours. Every time I get close to that, the universe finds some way to intervene. Now, sometimes if I try to do a 3 a day, the universe intervenes by one of my guests having to postpone. And I know it might sound like I'm saying the universe is conspiring against me, but when it happens enough times, you do have to wonder. Um, as long as you're not in Jersey, things can always get worse. I'm pretty sure even if I was in Jersey, things could get worse. And I see Dragon and Nintendo effing things up. I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same. Yeah, pretty much. Oh. There's always going to be those particular mistakes, and also hey there, Goblin. I've said in the past that I think the main reason the Pal World thing spiraled out of control the way it did was for no other reason than Pal World signing a deal with Sony, who Nintendo has had a hate boner for years. And like up until that point, I don't think they cared. But as soon as they made a deal with their biggest rival, now all of a sudden it's a problem. Unfortunately, in the process of trying to make it a problem, they ended up giving themselves massive foot bullets for the whole way through, which is why they've downplayed um what they're considering actionable. Um, basically downplaying the claim. And now this is something I've covered, and people much more experienced than me have also covered. So if I sound like a broken record on that, it's just the hilarity of the fact that none of this had to happen. But let me see. Well, hopefully everybody's night's going well. Feels like the only time I can do reasonable streams is at night when it's reasonably cooler. I mean, I have AC because I am in North America, but that has its limits. And let me see here. Okay, let me see if he's. As soon as Flames gets bad, we're gonna go right into My Father's Sword, which is coming to us from the folks over at Nordic Scalds. In the words of Tom Christie, a moral compass? Now let's not get crazy here. I think we're past that part. But while we're waiting, let me see what else Nordic Scalds has put up. So the most recent thing they did is Windheim and the Horn of the Dawn. Which I'm hoping this isn't in. This was a third-party project for Dragonbane. And just looking at the cover for the thing, it's it's very much channeling Elric. But it came along with it a campaign called Windheim is the campaign setting, and along with it was a adventure called Horn of the Dawn. I don't have either of them. But when I say recent, that was back in 2023. If we're talking about most recently, they did a third-party supplement for Coriolis called Eater of Worlds. They've also done scenarios for Mork Borg. They've been around. I think also a project called Yggdrasil Burns, which I haven't read through. They got nominated for a Phoenix Award, which is very nice. And it's another notch on the very vibrant TTRPG scene in Sweden, which I think a lot of us are only just starting to see the full scope of in the last few years. Unless you're one of those weirdos like me who digs into everything, in which case you've known about this for the longest time. But let's see, is he still not back? since it's been a bit, I'm gonna hit the BRB and we will get back at it when he gets back. So see you guys in a few minutes.
Right.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about the long wait. Oh, I got worried for a split second, but we seem to be all good. Oh,
Don't worry about it.
I did kill a bit of time going into some of the past work that Nordic Scalds has done. They've made a
Nice.
decent name for themselves in the tabletop scene in Sweden. Some of their stuff is using Mork Borg, some using Coriolis, some using Dragonbane.
Oh, the way for Dragonbane?
They did a Kickstarter for a campaign setting in Dragonbane about 2 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And I have stated many times Dragonbane is one of the premier entry point games. I know a lot of people are like, oh, just use D&D as your entry point. No.
No.
Especially given the price.
Go for something actually fun.
But for the first one we have is My Father's Sword, which is going to be a very light book. Even if you don't take into account that this is using spreads, this isn't a very dense book text-wise. Also, I really, really love the art we've got here, whether it be the movie poster-like design we have with the cover, or just the art throughout the book.
I think the whole file being like spread actually helps a lot here.
Yeah, there's some awkward spots at the front, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It does mean things get a little bit awkward if you're trying to look something up specifically, but text is searchable, so it's not as bad as it could be. But first we have a short story about the hero. Then going into what a role-playing game is, and if it isn't obvious from some of the art, this is not going to be the most serious of games.
Oh, bummer.
But
I was hoping for a grim, dark twist.
Although I do appreciate the sense of humor we have here, where it opens up saying, if you, for some reason, do not know what a role-playing game is or how to play one, this book is not for you. Start with another one and pick up My Father's Sword again in a few years, when you've cut your teeth a bit more. Not because the rules are long or complicated, rather the contrary, but you need to have a few campaigns behind you to truly appreciate this game.
Yeah, they most likely will play into cliches and everything like that. You can appreciate that on your first time ever, so it's a good choice.
Which I do like that we have a declaration of the rules with a couple protagonists who probably got turned into a iguana and a fly. That's a big ass fly though. And a sidebar of, I make it a rule never to lie with someone unless they can beat me in a fair fight. The Red Sonja rule. I've heard that Schwarzenegger has told his kids growing up, if you keep acting up, we're gonna go to the theater room and you're gonna have to watch Red Sonja. Which, whether or not he did it is up in the air. But then we get to hero creation. First, starting with general info. And again, this is a very self-aware book that's perfect for this kind of stream.
Yeah.
Like, your hero must have a name. This is mandatory and cannot be omitted. Your hero has an age. It may not know how old it is, but you most certainly do. Then going into appearance, money, you have to choose whether your hero is rich, has enough, or poor. A rich character can buy things money can buy, while a poor one can't buy shit. If it has enough, you'll have to let common sense guide you. Uh, and of course, your gear. If a hero has everything, it basically has a bottomless backpack with a pocket dimension inside it to fit all the equipment inside. If it owns nothing, it has a maximum of 3 items, so almost nothing would perhaps be a more accurate description. If he has what is reasonable, again, common sense. And also a few personality traits, though it says the gods want their heroes to act in accordance with their plans for the world and fulfill the prophecies. Don't fuck with the gods.
But what if this lava isn't really lava and I just step on it and it's just water?
Well, what is lava if not really hot water made from rocks?
Does that mean that water is lava? Does it work the other way around as well?
Probably not.
God damn it.
But then, of course, we have background with a few suggestions. I like the image we have of the farmer dragonborn here. And I don't know why, but I'm envisioning this dragonborn having the same kind of drawl that why is his name escaping me? A certain rooster who talks way too damn much. I don't know.
Yeah, my mind is drawing blank right now.
But then culture is basically race. I know a lot of people are trying to get away from the term race, but it's a doomed endeavor.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, that's the reason I didn't do it. I know some people are like, "Oh, you need to call it like ancestry or heritage or something like that." No, it's race. If you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. But yeah, Foghorn Leghorn. That was who I was thinking of. I don't know why I kept why it was escaping me.
Oh right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God I didn't. It's who I think he was, but I forgot how he's called in English.
Mm-hmm. But of course, this sort of thing isn't gonna matter crunch wise, but may matter roleplay wise. But then heroic feature. It is something that you invoke if you want to perform a deed that would normally require a die roll and succeed automatically. Sometimes the GM might ask for a die roll anyway, in which case the heroic feature gives you a +2.
Nice.
Then we have weaknesses and principles. Weaknesses, if they apply, can either be an automatic fail roll or a -2. And principles is basically alignment, except not shit. The moral codes that you may have to be tested, they could give you a plus or -2, or an automatic succeed or fail, depending on the action.
I mean, alignment isn't really that bad for the 5 seconds that it exists when you create a character and then you forget about it the whole time you play it.
I have bad blood from early editions where alignment created very stupid decisions.
Fair enough.
That guy moments.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, friends. I can't let you do that because my character is lawful good.
Or you know how we had a few weeks ago we had talked about if you do one character pick in King of Fighters in some arcades in Mexico, you were gonna get your ass kicked.
Rugal, yes.
Yeah.
Nobody in South America or Latin America, better said, is allowed to play Rugal, or you're gonna get banned of that place.
Hmm. Oh,
And then you get your ass kicked at the street.
yeah. Um, I think there should be a similar policy with anybody who picks chaotic neutral for their alignment.
Oh yeah, the one that goes against trying to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The LOL random. Oh. I think I let somebody play it only once, and that was after they drank the pain glass 3 times.
I'm sorry, Miller. Now, if you excuse me, I have an empty table in a corner at the tavern that needs to be sitting.
Yeah.
Oh, and I need to have a cape and a hood to protect my face because I suddenly feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I dealt with that bullshit plenty. There was an unwritten rule that if I was putting the party in a tavern or an inn or some place where they were serving alcohol, a fight would inevitably break out. And if it wasn't through a drunken patron and I didn't have any other option, I would throw in ninjas. Or some other brand of assassin. It's me ripping off of Robin Law saying just add ninjas if there's not enough tension in the story. I think in one case it was an instance of mistaken identity where a bunch of constables broke into the bar thinking that the party was somebody else and was there to arrest them. Oh. One bar fight later, it turns out, wait, these are the wrong guys. After they've caused hundreds of gold coins worth of damage. Because, if you're gonna do a bar fight or a tavern fight, it should look like the end of the tea house scene from Hard Boiled. By the end of it. Not a few broken tables here and there. No, the whole place should be trashed.
Sorry, I think my audio cut out a bit. You said
Nice.
like a tea house?
I was referring the tea house scene in Hard Boiled.
Oh yeah, the one at the start.
And how
God,
the whole place gets completely wrecked by the end of the scene.
Or the hospital at the end.
Yeah.
Man, I love John Woo movies.
Oh. There's a reason I bring up the book Blowing Up the Movies when it comes to cribbing notes. And yes, I've made many attempts at trying to steal from John Woo movies for action scenes.
I think that's, in my humble opinion, I don't think anyone has ever gotten as close to perfection with action scenes as John Woo did.
There's been a few people who got close. Whoever directed the film Shoot 'Em Up got real close by just being complete batshit insane. Same with the director pair that did the Crank movies.
Oh yeah.
Which that was.
I just love how absurd every impact is in Hard Boiled, like especially at the end in the hospital, like you can feel like everything is just made out of cardboard and dreams. That's not a real building.
But after the whole thing with principles, we have locations. Basically, choose a location that you've visited. If information on the location is relevant, that's a +2. I am noticing a pattern here. And then events, and all of a sudden we're in Never Ending Story. What the fuck? with a side text of, "You killed my father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate. Prepare to die." Yes, we too have read The Princess Bride. But we have a similar thing with +2 if this is relevant. Then with persons, and again +2 if relevant. They do give examples and suggestion for each of these, and then nemesis.
Ours.
I do like that it says you have a nemesis, or rather, you do not have a nemesis. We hope, but your hero does. And when it comes to skills, this is where we're not really dealing with a descriptor, but you give your character 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. No, just kidding. 8, of course. Respectively in the skills physical activity, social interaction, knowledge, spiritual powers, perception, magic, and secrecy. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. Yep, that is 8 different skills.
Yeah.
A lot of them I'd say are self-explanatory. And then we get to how to play the game. So you are rolling a d8 as your core mechanic.
Nice.
You're trying to aim low, which makes sense for both the +2 and -2, as well as the way skill allotment works. I think we didn't see anything for attributes, so skills are going to be the key thing. You roll an 8, that is a botch. You roll a 1, that's a crit.
Nice.
When it comes to modifiers, they're usually going to be +1 or +2 or -1, -2 respectively. They can stack. Magic items give +1 or +2 to things. If you want to help someone out, you need to have at least 4 in the relevant skill. And the player rolling the dice gets a +1 mod. They put in, "Am I in math class?" But then you also have cliche points. They actually did it.
Hell yeah.
They fucking did the Bard seduces the dragon.
Yeah. I love the vulture sitting there very uncomfortable.
With a watch going, "Come on, time is money."
Yeah. It's amazing.
But a cliche point can be spent to perform a heroic deed, which we already talked about. You can also spend it to get a magical item, either spending 1 point to get a mediocre item that gives +1, or 2 points for a powerful artifact that gives +2. Not for an entire skill, but a relatively narrow area of usage. The whole pulling a magic item out of your ass. But every time you act out a trope or a cliche, you get a cliche point, which you can spend in this manner. And when it comes to combat, it is playing things fast and loose with some bits of advice. There are no hit points. Instead you have wounds.
Right.
But it's clear combat is just meant to be a contested role. You might have modifiers depending on situation, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
When it comes to magic, there are no special rules for magic. They say this might sound a bit OP, but we believe the role players of today can handle the level of responsibility needed to use magic in My Father's Sword. Since this does not have mana points, power points, spell slots, spell levels, or other things that have limited spellcasters over the years, it's up to the GM and players to make sure magic will be on a level that suits your adventure.
That is a lot of trust that you're putting in your players.
I do love the asterisk here. Overpowered, a common term in role-playing games. If you needed to look it up, you might be too much of a noob for this game. And going into some of the tips for GMs, as well as the option to do campaign play, where your hero can have a maximum of 4 of each of heroic features, locations, weaknesses, persons, principles, and events.
Right.
If you end up getting more, you have to scratch them out. Then we have a D8 table for creating your own epic cliche adventure of problem, reason, villain, victim, and plot twist.
Hold on, I need to get a D8 and try to generate one right now.
Are you actually getting out a D8?
I have. Listen.
Okay, I will humor you on this. Roll it for the first one.
All right, hold on.
This is going to be the worst Mad Libs game ever.
Hey, we gotta do something. 1.
An artifact needed to preserve the realm has been stolen
5.
because of a threat from an evil deity.
2.
Villain is a corrupt regent.
3.
Victim is the last of an endangered magical species.
And 7.
The villain also hates the hero's nemesis.
Fun. I'm gonna steal this.
Oh. This reminds me of some of the shenanigans that we'd get up to with the with that character creator deck that I bought years ago. which gave us things like the Great Draco, a dragonborn sorcerer where you have to always call him the Great Draco. It's like a pimp named Slickback. But then we have the character sheet proper, and
yeah.
This is as. Also, I love the text on the back end. Cliché, hilarious, easy. Relive your childhood memories with this epic parody role-playing game. This is as beer and pretzel as it gets.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I remember whenever with my friends, we all just bored and need something to do, and we just wanted to play a one-shot. We just grab a bunch of die and randomly create whatever the fuck comes out, even if it's a terrible character, and we just have so much fun with that.
Oh yeah, and when it comes to what we've got here, it is very much a. This is. I can see why they said you probably should have played a few games before you try this, because this is the kind of game that, as easy as it is, I would not put this in front of noobs. I would not put this in front of first timer because it is way too referential.
Yeah, it's too self-aware, and I think if you put a new player on this, the whole cliche part is gonna be so much confusing for them, or it will just fly past their heads.
Now, if they're a bit genre savvy when it comes to fantasy cliches, they might have a little bit of luck. If not, well, go play something else. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But
it's really, really interesting. I like it.
But I would go. But for this, I'd say I'd give it a grade of strongly recommended. Um, with the caveat of this is something that you break out for a beer and pretzels affair with your buddies who you don't feel like breaking out the usual game, so you break out this so you have something to play.
Yeah, I feel like this is a very like for example, I have a friend that sometimes he goes, "Yo, let's go play some a quick game of an RPG," and I'm like, I have to set up everything. I have to set up the character sheets. I have to set up the books. I have to set up the story. I think with this, in like a third of the preparation time, you can have a very good time with it.
Mm-hmm. Uh, that's
And you don't need to take it too seriously. You just go and have fun with whatever the fuck you want.
yeah. A what I'm immediately reminded of are two movies. One of them is Darkness Rising, the true D&D movie,
Yeah.
and the other is Your Highness, which was like an endurance test for the writer of how much can you squeeze out of the joke? What if D&D had stoners? Although depending on who you ask, they already do. They're called druids. But we are going to take a bit of a break, and we'll be back in a few to potentially cover Overwar: The Night Comes Down, which is not going to be as much of a shit post, but will still be a fun one. See you in a few. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. So, Overwar, the night comes down. I will admit this is by a dear friend of the show, Richard Kelly, who some of you may recall as a frequent guest on the show and has helped me in terms of brainstorming ways to adapt elements of Legend Edition into Daggerheart.
Ooh.
What we ended up with was not necessarily Daggerheart per se, but a weird hybrid between the two. But I am happy with how it turned out. So, and I may probably make that into a full thing, but it's not going to have the same template that I use. So, Overwar comes to us thanks to Richard Kelly, who, as I mentioned, is a dear friend of the show, as well as writing and layout help by Alex T, who is another friend of the show. And in full disclosure, I did back this on Kickstarter. But then we do have a few examples of the influences, the necessary equipment, and the like.
Oh, Advance Wars.
Mm-hmm. And after the table of contents, which is thankfully hyperlinked, and we do have bookmarks in the PDF, always nice.
Hell yeah.
We have a very lovely image of what looks like a Bat Dragoon. Or Bat Cavalry, I could say.
It looks like one of those bats from World of Warcraft when you have to fast travel to an outpost.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But it opens up with a world of Gothic conflict, which is basically a gazetteer of the setting. Oh.
Nice.
It is the year 1472 Dracos Domini, and the land of Balark is bathed in unrest. The armies of the Overnight have descended from their floating islands to ravage the countryside, leaving disease, famine, and the byproducts of their cruel alchemical experiments in their wake. You are a person of some minor authority. Whether you were born to the station or crawled into it, you now have control over a small band of combatants. The nations of Balark may have broken before the conquerors from the clouds, but you are determined that you will not fall. You will reclaim what they have taken. And then it goes into Balark as a setting, as well as the geography and the people. I do appreciate that they are able to squeeze so much detail into such short amount of text.
Yeah.
Of course.
Neat.
And because of the nature of the Overnight, the title of the book, Overwar: The Night Comes Down, makes all the more sense. And you have a bit on the daily life, the threat of the overnights, and the different folkways. It could be
Nice.
the Aburad monasteries, uh, the Lacertian churches, the Hauliak temples, or just folk traditions and local cults. Uh, Also, I love this image of what looks like a very Landsknecht um over what I'm assuming is a purple worm or some kind of worm.
You can tell it's the Langsnet because of the hat.
The ridiculous hat, the ridiculous patchwork armor, and also
The ridiculous sword.
and the codpiece.
Yeah, it all connects.
Hmm.
God, I love the
Yes, even
the
if you're
stupid
dealing with a
ritual.
female Landsknecht, they have to wear the codpiece. It's the rules.
Yes.
But after that, we have a bit on what a TTRPG is. I do like the name
What
that
is
they give for the GM, Grand Marshal. We should use that. But you can play GM list, but that's for later. To play, you'd need the usual material as well as a tarot deck or a set of standard playing cards. Each
Huh.
player will create their commander and draft their unit. A GM might want to create a scenario or use the random scenario generator.
Right.
So when creating your commander, you have certain tags. Each commander has the authority tag and must choose either human, accursed, arcane, beast, divine, or hidden folk as part of the authority tag. You also have to pick your history. You'd roll 4d6 and consult the table.
4d6. That's a lot of backstories.
Yep, and So, just for the fuck of it, since you did it earlier,
Hell yeah.
let's see. Roll 4d6. Let me get it.
I just
Okay,
grab a handful of dice and I have like 10 sets.
Yep.
And I barely just got 1d6.
So I rolled 16 for that, so a potential commander origin is provincial clergy, the local representatives of major religions, folk beliefs, and cults. For Lacertians, the words of provincial clergy carry little sway in the federal capital, but this friction is much less pronounced for the Haluchiach and the Aburad. The relationship. If we're dealing with medieval/Renaissance, there's that relationship of the crown versus the church.
Yeah. The theory of the two swords, I think it was. The political power and the actual divine power.
Yeah.
I know that because I had to give a final exam on history last week.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my theme. I got a 17. What the hell is that? Wanted.
Yep.
Of course I want to be dead. The game wants me dead.
But then you also roll for why do your soldiers follow you?
Because it was either that or get killed.
So I rolled an 8. So in this case, favorable reputation. You have built a positive reputation among your peers and within the kingdom, drawing soldiers who want to be part of a respected unit.
I got a 13.
On 2d6?
Oh, 2d6? I thought it was 4 again.
Nope.
10.
Protection and security. You're known for creating a safe and secure environment within the unit, ensuring that your soldiers are well fed, well equipped, and protected from harm.
Oh, so that's the part of fantasy because I have no sense of security.
But commanders have 4 HP, attack furthest
Right.
1 magic damage, and movement 1. And then you can spend 7 skill points among the following skills: Animal Care, Arcane Wisdom, Chirurgeon, Craft, Folkways, Gambling and Song, Merchantry, Noblesse Oblige, Subterfuge, Tactics, and Wandering.
Huh.
You also get two bonuses from the 2 different bonuses from the following lists. Oh, I don't think it's 2 bonuses from each list. These are just subcategories, which I appreciate that they are categorized like this.
Yeah, simple bonuses and advanced bonuses.
So you have simple bonuses, which a lot of them are number go up. Then targeting bonuses. Then provision bonuses. And then trait bonuses, and then the advanced ones.
They're both the same categories. It's just that some are simple and some are advanced.
Yep.
And then you have the last one is massive bonuses.
Which it'd certainly be awkward if you're with the creepy bonus if your commander is a necromancer.
I think we should get, like from the get-go, a clarification of if it's 2 simple bonuses and 2 advanced ones, or just 2 of the whole table, because it's kind of left ambiguous.
Yeah. I am assuming it's 2.
It's of both lists. Yeah.
It's 2 from the totality.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to do something a little bit more straightforward. But
also, I gotta say before we move on, I'm really liking the pictures of this one.
Oh yeah,
because it gives me that retro feeling, like with the first editions of many old RPGs.
This kind of art direction is definitely a Black Oath highlight. I've covered a lot of the games from Black Oath, and you'll see this kind of visual style quite a bit.
It's amazing. I love it.
But normally you fight alongside your unit. If you had to solve problems outside of combat, that's what skills are for.
Nice.
To use a skill, you roll 3d6 plus the skill score and compare it against a target number. So I'd say the baseline would be 12 for a professional will struggle. If you get above it, you succeed. If you get below it, you fail. The GM should permit you to use any skill you can justify in the story. And we already covered the skill list, but it goes into a bit more detail there.
I like that it allows the players to be, the GM to be upfront with the characters, with the players, that you can tell them how much the TN is before they attempt to go for the task, because it avoids the, I mean, a lot of people sometimes do the make you roll even though they know the thing is impossible, but it gives a lot of flexibility, because you think, am I really gonna go for this, or I might just get something off my ass and make it work somehow in another way.
But I do like this paragraph here. There are no skills for lying or for noticing the world around you. This is because in Overwar you always succeed in noticing the world around you, and lies cannot be empowered by the use of a skill.
Right. You just need to be paranoid the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And I'm reminded of how in Legend Edition I have a whole sidebar called No Spot Checks. Because one of the things I was trying to get away from is this idea of rolling to see if you see something. Like if you're using your eyes, it should be self-explanatory. Is it there? Is it within your? Is it within your line of sight? Yes, you can see it. There's no random chance.
Yeah, I don't really like how sometimes. And one of the very from the get-go, one of the gripes that I had with D&D was the use of insight, or the way they explain insight.
Mm-hmm. Part of the reason I say the best way to experience role-playing is outside of D&D is D&D is a victim of its own traditions, of the insistence of sticking to traditions for their own sake, designed by gospel, as I call it.
Right.
And yes, the Vancian model is one of the big examples, and I will always be the biggest hater when it comes to the Vancian model. Even in non-D&D games that use it. Like, I'm not a big fan of playing Suikoden, which uses it. I like Suikoden to death. I don't like that system. I don't even think it fits.
I fucking despise playing the FF Pixel remasters and having to endure Final Fantasy 1 with the Vancian model of X spells per day.
You want to know the funny part? The 20th anniversary port of the original Final Fantasy doesn't use it. It goes to an MP system.
I think the Origins version, which I believe was also the WonderSwan color version, uses it as well, the MP system. The Origins version was the compilation for PS1, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But after that, you start to draft your starting unit. Pick 5 types of characters from the lists in this chapter. For example, Adepts, Cherubim, Pawns, Sirens, and Alchemists. These types are now unlocked for you. Then you spend 5 draft points to add characters to your unit from the types you have unlocked. You can change which characters are in your unit later during play, and your maximum number of draft points may increase after you have a few scenarios under your belt. So don't worry if you're a little uncertain. Or you can optionally you can name each of your characters and use the random character generator to generate some more info about them. And this is where they go into the sidebar about tags. If you're building your unit around a particular theme, remember that all characters have tags which help to describe them. These are typically written in parentheses. Common tags are Accursed, beings associated with the fell powers of the Overnight. Arcane, entities wrought from or associated with the essence of magic. Authority, which you have as the commander. Beast, self-explanatory. Divine, also self-explanatory. Hidden folk, the oldest inhabitants of the land and an eclectic variety of species. Human, self-explanatory, and inorganic, entities constructed from stone, brass, fire, or other unliving materials.
Nice.
And then they go into the type of unit characters. Remember, you have 5 points to spend on the type of characters that you've unlocked. And this is where the types that was mentioned earlier are brought up. First we have basic characters, each one giving their hit points, what they attack, and any special rules that they have. and I think this is also where the whole tag thing comes into play. Then we have 2-point basic characters. Then 3 points. Then 4-point basic characters. There are also advanced characters, which are gonna have a higher floor, but you can pick.
Right. Is this version like a preview or something? Because I can see the.
I think
I'm
Let
trying
me-
to use my imagination to, because I can see the areas where the art should be.
Yeah, let me check something, because I may have. It may be a case where I ended up screwing up on updating.
Yeah, and because some of the parts before, like they tell you you can create your character by checking their skills, and then they go in between parentheses a page, so and so and so. Here it's just page XXX. So I think it might be like.
Yeah, I'm going to grab the most recent version off of DriveThruRPG, and let me see, what page are we on? Page 27.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely is the case. That is on me for forgetting to grab the most up-to-date version. So I'm
no worries.
I'm going to fix that right now. And let me. First off, I need to do a bit of navigating. I do apologize for this particular botch. This is certainly not my usual fare.
It's all right. Things happen.
But check your DMs.
A monk sent me a message. Maybe a bot.
All right, let me go to page 27 so I can go right back to where we were. And now you should be able to see the art in question. So, for example, we have what looks like a soldier with the classical Chinese rocket.
Love it. I always want to shoot at a demon.
Oh yeah, it is called a rocketist.
Is it because Rocketman was already trademarked?
We can't call it Rocketman. If we do that, Elton John's gonna sue us.
And you can't go with Rocketeer as well, so I can see why Rocketeer.
I mean, you probably could because genericide, but still. But it is amusing that one of the 4-point characters is the Green Knight, which makes me think the hidden folk are meant to be the equivalent to fae folk.
Right.
And this is the. If I had a nickel for every time I talked about the Green Knight in the last week, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. But then we have advanced characters, which still operate on the same point system, but I think there's more of a floor with them.
And it says advanced characters have more complex rules and maybe harder than basic characters to use effectively, but you may include both kinds in your unit.
And something that I do like with this is even though this is drawing upon stuff like Ogre Battle and Final Fantasy Tactics, it's not trying to do a tree system. I think doing
Yeah,
that with this kind of game would be a nightmare.
I can see that. Yeah, it's one of the things that whenever I hear an RPG trying to do the whole tactical thing, I can imagine that going for a tree progression system is gonna be a nightmare.
So it really depends on how you do it. Um, Years ago, I covered a game called Zephyr, which was also heavily inspired by FF Tactics.
Right.
That game is able to handle it by just integrating it with the level system. If you try to do the character level and job level thing and let people jump around in that, that's where the nightmare begins. If you have
Yeah.
it that at certain levels you have to pick which of the advanced and master jobs you go with, um, it's easier to work with that. Shadow of the Demon Lord does a similar thing, where you have to pick three tiers of class, and they're spread out among several levels. It's not like you go with one, then you go right to the next one. They're alternating,
Yeah.
almost like what I do. But and with the job promotion system I put up as a house rule in my Discord, there is something of a chart there, but it's not as specific as what you'd see in FF Tactics or Fire Emblem. Uh, but with the point setup we've got here, I think it still goes up to 4 points. And
There
some
are a
of
lot more units that are advanced. Hmm.
mhm. I see that one of them is Polyphemus, or rather Polyhemus, and I probably would have joked that if the enemy is named Nobody, he can't attack them. I'm glad you got that joke. Some people haven't. Some people that one goes right through them. But after that, you have to assemble your unit. You assemble them into a formation consisting of a front row and a back row with 3 columns in each. This gives you space for 6 characters. If you ever have
Right.
more than 6 characters, add additional columns in your unit until they all fit. Now place your characters, including your commander, in your unit in any order, keeping in mind the frontmost, leftmost characters will act first in combat, and characters in the front will tend to be attacked more than characters in the back. But tactical gameplay takes place on maps, which are hexes instead of squares. And when on a map, any player can choose to activate their unit, moving it a number of hexes equal to their commander's movement. After a player-controlled unit activates, the GM may activate an enemy or neutral unit, and so on. If a unit does not have a commander, it has a default movement of 1. If a unit without a commander has movement bonuses that would normally be applied to a commander, these bonuses are applied to the unit's movement instead.
Mhm.
After 6 units activate, the map cycles from day to night or night to day. And certain terrain hexes can have their own effects, as we can see. If a player-controlled unit ends its movement on an unfriendly settlement hex, they automatically capture that settlement and it becomes friendly. When a settlement is captured for the first time, you draw a card from the Divination deck, which we'll get to later. If an enemy unit ends its movement on a settlement that was captured, they automatically recapture it. And if the reason you'd want to capture settlements is that you can use them to they can be used to help restore. But if you're in hostile settlements, no longer are treated as restorative and inhabited. When a player controlled unit ends their movement on them, it suffers an attack all 1 magic damage. And as you saw with the units, unless you're spending high amounts, your units are pretty squishy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, they have HP that you wouldn't associate with an RPG, you'd associate with a war game. You know, where unless you're a named character or an advanced unit, 1 or 2 hits is enough to put you in the dirt.
Yeah.
Which is the sole reason that when I did play Warhammer 40k, I loved using ambush tactics. Especially because this was still when I could abuse Ussachar Creed's rules. Except I didn't have any Warhound Titans, but I did have plenty of Land Raiders. And Terminus pattern Land Raiders as well. Which, are you familiar with what a Terminus pattern Land Raider is armed with?
I know the Land Raiders, but I don't know what they're on with those one.
Obviously, a Land Raider is the Space Marine tank. A Terminus pattern is armed with nothing but las cannons. Just like 5 or 6 las cannons. The thing can blow up if you roll really, really badly, but that is a 1 in 1200 chance.
That's ridiculous. Kind of reminds me of, what was it? Someone who went to a tournament with, I'm not sure if it was a Tau Devilfish, but it was a Tau vehicle that has 2 railguns.
Mm-hmm. And that was probably around the time that railguns were rage-inducing because of their stupid range. Is what I would say if I didn't abuse basilisks, which are even worse.
God, I love the aesthetic of the basilisk. It's so primitive. It's just an artillery cannon on tracks.
It's a howitzer on steroids. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It is for those people who say a bullet has your name on it, a fireball says to whom it may concern, and they respond with, "Y'all are talking some mad shit for some solid grid coordinates."
Oh man.
But
speaking of which, real quick, I love that they came out with the Caiaphas Cain miniature, including Jurgen, and that one of the rules it has is that he can't be in reserve. He has to absolutely go in deployment.
Yes. Probably has to drive as well. And probably has to crash whatever he's driving because Jurgen always crashes.
Come on, man. It's just that he doesn't have a good place to stop.
Probably also have to have an unwritten rule that people get penalties around him because Jurgen stinks so bad. And he is proud of how much he stinks.
I mean, yeah.
Then again, I've mentioned how much of a fan I am of Gotrek and Felix, and how Gotrek is basically a delete button for anything.
Yeah, pretty much. I took this last month because every time I have to go to uni, I have to take like a 2-hour bus ride to go and another 2-hour bus ride to come back home. And so I just got an Audible subscription and started tearing into the audiobooks of Gotrek and Felix and some of the Caiaphas game books.
Yeah.
And I love everything about them.
I do like what Pancreas No Work had said on the matter, where he said, Gotrek is Goku and Felix is Krillin. Yeah, he's nowhere near as powerful as Felix is nowhere near as powerful, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't underestimate him.
Yeah, because Felix, I think, compares his own strengths against Gotrek, but like for himself, he's like a very good duelist and human.
Oh, a lot of people will make the mistake of going, "Oh, I'm not going to go against the angry dwarf. I'm going to go against the weak looking human." Okay, why do I have a sword sticking out of my chest?
Yeah.
But when it comes to restoring units, if you end a movement on a hex that the GM has given the restorative tag, every character in that unit recovers from being knocked out and goes back to full HP.
Right.
On the other hand, you can choose to move 0 hexes and all characters in the unit heal 1 HP.
Oh, so you just don't move it that turn and just heal.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But you can also choose to reorganize or restructure on settlements. And then they go into who acts first. It is always the leftmost, frontmost character in the unit that initiated combat.
Nice.
And they do have certain rules for targeting. So nearest, furthest, front row, back row, weakest, strongest. What it determines as weakest as strongest is whoever has the fewest or most HP.
Right.
Of course, healing, the leader, i.e., if it's an effect that specifically targets the leader. And it's not like you're picking these actions during combat. Each unit is doing their particular action, and that's it.
Right.
Which I think helps makes things move a lot easier because it's clear. Every player has a unit that is meant to be like a squad. In fact, I'd say a very. I'm not sure if it was mentioned in the first few pages, but one game that could provide a very good touchstone is The Last Remnant in terms of its combat system.
Right.
Because instead of individual characters, you're controlling that character and their unit, what's referred to in the game as a union. And we kind of have that here with Yggdra Union being one of the influences mentioned.
Right.
But after both sides have finished acting, combat ends and both sides tally victory points. You can earn it if you character on enemy side knocked out gives you 1, enemy commander knocked out gives you 3. The side with the least victory points retreats. Retreating must be done to an open hex. If they can't retreat, they suffer 1 magic damage attack per hex. And something that's also clear is you don't roll to hit. You just hit.
Yeah.
Of course, then if the unit is reduced to 0 HP, then they disband. You can also, before combat, do orders, which is a way to give the commander something to do. This is basically barking formation orders. Orders always apply as long as there's at least one eligible character that the order can target. When a player gives an order, their opponent can also give an order. Both are declared simultaneously. Which is a very nice touch. Then we have the divination deck. This is straight out of Tactics Ogre. So divination cards are gained from capturing settlements as well as from other sources. They can be spent any time in any battle that you're involved in. It can even interrupt a character's action. with the divination card resolving first. They carry over between scenarios, and then we have each of them. And I can see why they said that you could use a tarot deck if you want, or use a playing card deck, because I don't think we are it does not look like we are using any of the greater arcana. And something else,
Yeah.
they're only going to 6.
Yeah, 6 of 4 different ones.
Yeah, for each suit. Then again, trying to go with every card in a standard playing card deck minus the court cards would probably be a little bit insane.
I think this would benefit, well, not benefit, but I think a deck of Spanish cards might work better for this one.
Why so?
Mostly for thematic, because in Spanish cards you have gold, sword, cup, and gloves.
That's basically the minor arcana in tarot.
Pretty much, that's why.
Like sometimes the pentacles is referred to as coins.
Yeah, in the Spanish cards they're entirely the gold is entirely round, but on some ones they're old coins, like 5-sided coins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which, a pentacle has 5 points.
Yeah.
But you can also get consumable items known as provisions that last for a single scenario, or until they're used, whichever comes first. And you also have a repute system, which is basically your reputation of how the population of Ballard sees the commanders.
Very poorly.
It ranges from -10 to +10. And during downtime, you can do supportive conversations, much like the support convos in Fire Emblem. Each commander picks a single character to their unit and explains what small personal tasks they are trying to accomplish in their free time. Other players may jump in and roleplay activities on that. If it does involve another player's character, they decide whether it succeeds. Regardless of whether it succeeded when the task is completed, the character who undertook it increases their HP by 1 for the duration of the next scenario. I'm glad we don't have the affinity grade like we would in Fire Emblem, because that could get a bit nuts.
Yeah.
Then with advancement, we have simple advancement and complex advancement. You should pick at the start of a campaign which side you're going with. With simple advancement, at the end of every odd-numbered scenario, you can increase your draft points by 1 and restructure the unit. Discard a divination card and draw a new one. Gain either a blessing, chalice, goblin ball, or stimulant to take into the next scenario, these being consumables. And for every even-numbered scenario, you get a Valor Pip and restructure your unit. 1 Valor Pip can be used to give a character an additional HP. 2 can be used to give them +1 damage. If a character has an attack, all its damage may not be increased with Valor Pips. You can discard a divination card and draw a new one, or gain the same consumables I mentioned before.
Right.
It's a nice, straightforward way to advance. And no matter what, you're getting something out of it.
Yeah, at least it's not a waste of time.
Mm-hmm. The complex advancement is known as the War Camp. After each scenario, the commanders return to their war camp to socialize, pursue small side objectives, restore and restructure their units, and interact with other members of the army. They can also build upgrades. The benefits from war camp upgrades apply to all player commanders, even new commanders that join later to replace the dead. Upgrades may be built multiple times, and have a level equal to the number of times they have been built. During each war camp visit, the group may elect to build one of the following basic upgrades. We have the examples of them, as well as the max level for each of them. If they decline to build a regular upgrade, the next time they visit the war camp, they can instead build a elite upgrade. And if they decline to build an elite upgrade, the next time they visit the war camp, they automatically gain the Magnus upgrade. Basically, they get to pick a third commander bonus through organizational support.
Nice.
Though it looks like you're only going to get that once. And after every 4 scenarios, the group automatically receives the capstone upgrade in addition to whatever else they build. Basically, every 4 scenarios, they get an additional draft point. And then we have rules for solo play, which includes things like a random target number generator if you are unclear of how difficult the tasks should be.
Right.
If you need to do a random character target, and it's clear that while you can add additional characters beyond the basic 6, I think the game wants to have units of 6.
Seems to be the most reasonable one, like the most manageable size.
Mm-hmm. But then we have the yes or no thing, basically the Oracle rule that is often seen in solo play. And some tables for actions and themes, which involve rolling D666. No, there is not a 666-sided die. You're just rolling 3d6 and looking at the faces. We also have a random chart for provisions, as well as a random unit generator. Which generates the point cost, position, point cost for leader point cost, leader position, follower point cost, and character affiliation. Basically, you roll until all the units' draft points are allocated. Place the leader on the leader position table. If the leader is not necessarily this leader is not necessarily a commander, though you can make them one. They're just the public face of the unit. If you don't have enough draft points to pay for a character of a certain cost, roll for a 1 draft point character instead. And all non-leader characters are placed from the front to back, left to right, until they're positioned in the unit.
Huh.
And we have the chart for the different type of characters we saw. It looks like we've got one. And it looks like instead of dividing the chart between the basic and advanced, they're just all in one chart for each point cost. And a random character generator if you want to go that route.
Hmm.
as well as a random map generator. Always nice. Basically, where you're generating random hexes. First going with the region, and then generating the terrain. Which, regardless of which which size of map you set up, you start in the lower leftmost hex, give it the no terrain property, then move left to right, bottom to top, rolling on the random hex terrain table to populate each hex. When rolling for the table, use the column for the terrain of the last hex you populated. So to populate the second hex of the map, you would roll in the no terrain property category. After populating the hex, if there are settlements within 2 hexes of it, and it is not a water or air terrain, roll a d6. On a 1, add a settlement to that hex. After the map is fully populated, name the region. And you can also do a patrolling system. You use the same procedures for making a map, but take a road as your starting hex. Then you start with 3 random provisions, then generate 3 enemy units, but don't place them anywhere. If you run into a combat during your patrol, roll a d6. 1 to 2, you encounter the first unit. 3 to 4, the second. 5 to 6, you encounter the third. To patrol, you generate the hexes on your map one by one. Basically a full-on keep on the Borderlands hex crawl. And when you complete a patrol, you gain a patrol point, which you can use kind of to do upgrades like the war camp. And we have potential patrol dangers, as well as a random settlement generator.
They really accounted for almost every single possibility.
Mm-hmm. You also have a scenario generator.
Nice.
You first designate. You first not designate, but first use the random map generator, then unit generator to produce a few types of units. 3, 6, or 10, depending on the size of the map. Then the lower leftmost hex is the starting position. Then designate a hex as an enemy spawn point. And you can use a d6 to determine how many spawn points there are. It does say you can assign a hex on whatever the die literally lands on. But there's ways to do it if you don't want to take that approach. And then go with the random objective generator. Basically, this is the objective you have to play.
And skirmish, escape, bounties, for nice.
Yep. And then we have advice on running the game. As well as a thing on making new characters. This is basically a guideline if you want to make a new part of a new character for a unit that isn't covered by the existing ones.
Oh, so like a unit generator? Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
You start with 1 draft point. They have 1 HP. Attack the nearest 1 for physical damage and whatever tags you feel are appropriate. And then can spend 2 build points on everything else in this section.
Right.
For every additional draft point starting from that first one, they get 3 more build points. And it is nice that this kind of thing is here because, in a lot of war games you have variant of units, as well as extra rules for hero units. And The last part is scenarios, but as I've mentioned in the past, I don't really cover scenarios. I do appreciate them being here in the detail that's present, including the maps. If you're
Yeah.
playing this on a virtual tabletop, you could probably just copy paste this map and you're golden. But there are 4 full scenarios that are present here. Each with different levels of difficulties and how many people they're built for.
Nice.
Uh,
Wonder if all goes well and they want to expand on this, because
uh,
so far everything we saw is like ground combat, right?
they if you're thinking about whether or not a an airborne setup could be done, I think the
Airborne, maybe on the sea, but like not fully dedicated into it. Like, I don't know, maybe just a single or tips to run for something like that. That would be neat.
um there was a campaign book called Balark in Flames. Um which does cover a bit more. I don't have that expansion, so, and I usually don't cover expansions in these videos. But it's essentially more of more of the system. At least from the drive-through description. I'd
Right.
have to double check at a different time if that also has things like flying units, which flying units may sound like a tempting thing, but because of how combat works in this, I think flying units might actually be tricky.
Right.
In the short term, I'd probably have it that flying units can attack any unit in the front or back row, and do not suffer terrain, but they're probably more expensive. Because it's always a tricky thing to introduce flying units in a way that doesn't make them overpowered. See, for example, the flying units nobody likes in Dawn of War Soulstorm. Which, the reason those were put in was because Games Workshop had a boner for flying units around that time, and had them put in a game that they are not built for.
That's because they didn't put in the Manta.
Then again, Soulstorm wasn't done by Relic.
No, Soulstorm, that expansion, I don't remember who made him.
That was done by, I believe, Ironlore.
Yeah.
It was. You see this thing kind of often of the weakest expansion to an RTS or a strategy game was not made by the main studio, but by a third-party studio.
It applies to surprisingly a lot, not just that. I remember when I played Alien vs Predator 2, which, side point, one of the best FPS I've ever played, and goddammit, why did they shut down Monolith? The base game is fantastic, and then you have Primal Hunt, which is absolute crap, and it's not made by Monolith.
Primal Hunt is ass. It is.
It really is.
It is every form of ass.
It is the exact like the perfect example of the company that made it, the developers that made it, did not understand what the game's strengths were.
Yeah. Oh, I think you had a lot. You had a lot of those. I
Yeah.
think there was also I think it was the expansion to the original Unreal that was packaged with Unreal Gold, where
Oh
they
yeah,
decided to add a assault rifle that was completely unnecessary.
Return to
Return,
I forgot what the name of the planet is.
yeah, Return to Nali.
Yeah,
Not which. And by the way, Unreal is another one of those games where I'd like
God,
to say support the official release, but you fucking can't.
fuck you, Team Sweeney.
Yeah. But with
God
now
damn it.
when it comes to Overwar, if
Yeah.
I'm putting this on my grading metric, this is a strongly recommended. Uh, if you if for those people who like playing, whether it be Fire Emblem, whether it be Tactics Ogre or Symphony of War, or even Heroes of Might and Magic, minus some of the busted ass stuff in Might and Magic 2, you know what you did. Uh, this is definitely a game that fits very well. I could also very easily see myself hacking the shit out of this to actually do the Magic the Gathering RPG that Wizards can't. Oh, I would probably be a cheeky bastard and instead of using Magic the Gathering, use Force of Will or Vanguard as my basis. Uh, it wouldn't be um it wouldn't be too hard to do. But when it when it comes to this, there were a couple spots where maybe a little clarification could be had, but given how thorough the tool
Oh
set
yeah,
is, that kind of thing feels like a minor issue.
absolutely.
Uh, I think the main thing that might be a hurdle is getting people to think less about them playing an individual character and more playing the leader of a unit.
I think that's the problem. Well, not a problem. I think that's the, what's it called? How can I say it? It's basically the thing that you have to keep in the mind
Mm-hmm.
always when you play tactical games.
Yeah.
That you need to account for pretty much your entire unit, not just yourself.
Mm-hmm. The way I'd put it is you're not playing Guts from Berserk. You're playing the raiding squad from the Band of the Hawk. If we're talking
Yeah,
about Golden Age Berserk. And for people for this is something I've noticed is that some games, if someone has a just tabletop background, they have a hard time grasping. But if they have a mixed background, they have a bit of an easier time.
yeah,
And I think this is going to be one of those instances. And as far as the age-old question of is it OSR, who gives a shit? Oh. But like I said, even with that, there's not enough asterisks for me to pump it down from anything but strongly recommended.
absolutely.
I'll always
I would love
appreciate a
to try
game
this out.
that knows exactly what it is and does not pretend to be anything else. But with all of that said, that is going to wrap it up for this particular late night edition of The Valley of the Judged. We will be back. We hopefully will be back next Monday to start the big ol' wrap up when it comes to Fate Forge. And when we're finished with Fate Forge, there will likely be an in-betweener and then a bit of a cooldown while we figure out what we're gonna do next. But
we're gonna go through the entirety of D&D 4th edition and tell why everyone is wrong.
I've been doing that for 10 years. But with that said, as always, a sincere thanks to everyone who took the time out of their schedule to come onto the show and enjoy the madness. And there will be plenty more where that came from, as there always is here, on the open bar of the internet. But until then, on behalf of the good brothers present and not present, my name is Mildra. I am your gaming monk. Stay fucking frosty, everybody.